Now, there's another story that I want us to talk about that also happened in Enugu just few days ago. This native doctor scandal pretty much covered a whole lot. See, I don't know what this is about, but somewhere in Eche Ezema village in Enugu, a farmer, a palm kernel farmer, left his house to go and fetch palm kernel. His wife also went to the market and they left their 4 children alone in the house. 4 little children, which first of all is already annoying to me that you would leave 4 children at home. But again, this is a village, so it's usually supposed to be safe. Unfortunately for them, by the time the man came back, he couldn't find his children, only for him to go to a nearby farm and check around, thinking that maybe they are playing or they are somewhere doing something. And then he gets there and sees that his children have been killed and covered with cassava leaves. Somebody had come into his house and murdered his children with a mortar pestle. When he raised alarm and reported, the police got involved. Investigation could reveal that it was somebody from a nearby church. There was a church close to the man's house, and they believed that somebody jumped through the fence of that church to kill the children. And the person was identified to be the driver of the pastor of that church. At first, people suspected the pastor because that was the first news that I remember reading, that the pastor of the Sabbath Presbyterian Church, I don't know if I pronounced that well, by the name of Pastor Chinedu Ezedike. So the people thought he was the one at first, until when he was picked up along with his assistant, a lady called Oluchi, and those two were the ones who helped the police uncover that it was most likely the driver of the pastor, because after he did that, he fled the community. They've not heard from him. They've not seen him. So he is clearly the one not here. So they believe most likely that he is the one who did it. And also, based on past reports, that the palm kernel farmer and his wife had gotten threats from this said man still. That this said man in the past had threatened to attack them with a mortar pestle, had threatened to hit them. So I don't know what the issue is, which is where I feel like there is something about this story that is salty in a way. Why is a pastor's driver having issues with a farmer? Like, what is the problem? What is the issue? Like, who is this driver and what is his deal? Why did he kill these 4 children and then run away like that? What exactly was the motive behind killing and the threat? In the past, according to what I read, the farmer, after he had gotten this threat from this man in the past, went to report to the pastor, Pastor Chinedu. So he was the one who he went to report to and was like, see, this your driver or this man that works in your church is threatening me and threatening violence against me. And that sort of made me understand that maybe this man doesn't exactly have a direct issue with the pastor. At the same time, what issue could a pastor's driver possibly have with this man? People are suspecting it's a land dispute, given the fact that the church and the man's house are not far from each other, especially even the farm where the children were kept after being killed are not far from each other. There's something about this story that is salty to me. It is not clear and it has not been explained. We are made to believe now that the pastor, Pastor Chinedu, had no idea about this killing, did not orchestrate it, did not order it, and making us believe that the said driver who did it, who, by the way, we don't even know the driver's name or have a picture of his face, did it all on his own accord. And it begs the question, why? Why exactly did this man do this? My guess is, and this is just my opinion, don't take my word for it, I believe it's the pastor who sent this driver. I know that a lot of members are very loyal to their papa, to their pastor, to their religious figure. And I feel like this driver who scaled the fence to kill this man's children did it for the pastor. And one of the reasons why I feel so is, from what I could see, this pastor, Pastor Chinedu, aka Ezedike, he's said to be notorious for bullying members of the community. They said that he's notorious for making shoddy deals, like he will make deal with people that doesn't make sense, and then he will confiscate people's property based on flimsy reason. Like he was pretty much just abusing his power, which I don't even know what his power is. Maybe as a pastor, people in the village respect him or see him as one big thing. So they said that because of that, this man is notorious for harassing villagers, harassing the residents of the village, and taking people's land by fire, by force. And that thing again that is being said regarding this pastor, aside him taking people's land, let's put that land into quotation because it's important as to why it makes sense that he knows about the death of this man's children. They also said that his church is more like a shrine. People have described that the church doesn't look like a regular church. It looks shrine-ish. It looks native doctor-ish. It does not look like a Sabbath church. It looks like one of those churches that you go and you're like, what's happening here? What's this image for? Why is there a calabash here? Why is this red clothes? What is this? Is it a church or is this a shrine? That is how people have described his church, his compound, the building where he worships. And with all this description of his church and his personality and how he treats the villagers, you can only wonder, how does the death or the murder of these children relate to him? Currently, the status of this story is still unknown and is still ongoing. I don't know why the police are stretching this. Maybe he told the man to do it and told the driver to run as far as possible. Obviously, one of the best ways to get away with murder is to pin it on somebody else. And when you pin it on somebody who the police cannot identify or find or assess, there you go. Because up until now, the only name we've seen is Matthew. But we don't even know if that is the name of the driver. We don't know a face. We don't know anything to identify this man. So clearly, this was a smooth job done. And I feel like that this was just is there a chance that this pastor had bullied this man to give up the land, saying that his church and this man's land share a boundary? Is there a chance that he has been trying to bully and oppress and harass this poor palm kernel man to give up the land or sell the land to the man in an amount of money that the man turned down? Is that possible? And the man has refused. Maybe because that's the only thing he has to his name, despite being a poor palm kernel seller. What are the chances? Or, given the description of his church, is this a sacrifice? I mean, we are talking about Enugu here, and we already know what is on the news. Was this man trying to do some kind of sacrifice? Why do you go after children? Who does that? It's just sickening. And I feel like there is more to this story as regards the pastor's involvement. I hope the police don't just let him go like that. Just because they cannot find that driver doesn't mean the pastor should not be held accountable. Because why is your driver jumping over the fence to kill another man's children? What exactly is your driver's business with this man? Why is your driver so angry and pained? What exactly? What is in it for your driver? And why is he on the run? What kind of argument will you have with somebody to the point you have to jump and kill the person's children? I don't see any sense in it. Unless this driver knows this man personally and they have a personal issue, then he was sent to do it. Or he just did it to make somebody happy. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. I don't know. But something about this story doesn't taste good.